other merchant goods, the smuggled books sat. Of course, barrels 2 and 4 housed only cloth and cornmeal, if the night watchman asked. In most of the houses the curtains were drawn, but a light was on in one. From a second-story window a woman peered out, her glance following the boat's sly movements with interest. The crew eyed one another nervously. Still, you couldn't let your nerves jangle at everything, or you would never survive. Finally, the boat pulled up to port, long tendrils of seaweed still clinging to its wooden sides. The captain stepped off and looked around, while men unpacked the crates and tried hard to look and act normal, whatever that meant. Footsteps now approached, clomping along the wooden pier. One of the men started. Rats! It was the night watchman. He was out tonight. The ship hands had been hoping it would be quiet. "Dark night, ain't she?" he said briskly, coming alongside one of the workers, his thin, gaunt face now yellow-grey in the fog. One worker, a huge man, with arms the size of iron posts, grunted. None of the workers looked at each other. "So, what are we unloading here this evening?" The night watchman sniffed with an angry scowl. Leaning over the nearest crate, he drummed his fingers on it impatiently and deliberately. His eyes narrowed with suspicion. He had only one thing on his mind, and it wasn't chit-chat. "Oh, you know, the usual," the huge man now replied, trying to sound very, very casual. "Just cloth and cornmeal. Would you like to take a look?" He was calling the night watchman's bluff, hoping it would set him off course. He tried not to blink too much. Blinking was a dead giveaway. "No, that's all right," the night watchman retorted curtly, toying with his victim. "I'm tired tonight." Still, one could see, even by the moon's stingy light, his purple face contorted, bulging. He stepped forward menacingly. "You know," he said gleefully, "on second thought, I really should take a look. After all, the king has not been happy about books that have been coming into our country." He pronounced the word happy as if it were a disease. He had a cold, cruel voice. "And when the king's not happy—" He paused, then pronounced testily, "Nobody's happy." "Open her up," he ordered, pointing a lean, bony finger at the barrels. "Sir?" "Open her up, I said." The ship-hand's stomach lurched, but his eyes remained calm. He felt around for the barrel with the wooden edge, barrel 2, and prayed he had the right one. Not a praying man by nature, the ship-hand now crammed 100,000 prayers into those few long seconds. All eyes were riveted on him, frozen. Gingerly and slowly, he prized open the crate's lid, using a long, thick iron bar. When he did so, cloth of every colour and kind, rich, ruby-coloured damasks, smooth, deep plum velvets, and more ordinary white everyday woolens, began to flutter loosely in the night air. The ship-hand breathed a sigh of relief inside. His heart thumped back into a rhythm. Outwardly, he never let on a thing. "You see? Just like I said," he groused convincingly back at the watchman. "Cloth, a late shipment. Have to keep the merchants happy, you know." He watched the night watchman's dark, narrow eyes closely, and spoke with an even, calm voice. "It's going to be all right," he kept telling himself. "Huh," the night watchman grunted gruffly, rubbing the back of his neck, still looking suspiciously unhappy. "All right, then. Keep it moving. Bring it in," he growled begrudgingly. He turned on his heel and stomped back down the street, the uneven slap of his footsteps receding into the darkness. Meanwhile, underneath the cloth in other barrels, the stowaway books lay undetected, safe for this evening. They had made it, this time, but the men's future and the future of the books remained uncertain. Why? Why all the fuss about a few spindly little books? Because these books weren't just any old books. They were the books of William Tyndale. "I'm sure that they'd love to get their hands on him," the burly ship-hand said, only after the crates had been unloaded and the ship had pulled away from the shore. "On who?" the other replied. "William